If you're looking to start an online health coaching business, I'm going to share 3 things no one else is telling you in this video. So sit tight, grab some coffee or green juice, and let's do this. What's going on, my friend? Yuri Elkaim here, founder and CEO of Healthpreneur. We help health practitioners and coaches get more clients and scale their businesses online. And if you're here, it's because you're looking to start a health coaching business. Great job, because the world needs you, okay? The world needs you, and there's just such an amazing opportunity for health coaches now and into the future. However, there's a few things you need to be aware of. And before I tell you what those are, you might be asking, well, why should I listen to you, Yuri? Well, it's really simple. As you can tell, I lost my hair when I was 17 years old. Well, you didn't know that, but I don't have any hair. I lost it when I was 17 to an autoimmune condition. That's what got me into health. And I built, after doing many years of one-on-one coaching as a trainer and nutritionist, 2006, I started my first business online, helping others with their health. And after many years of struggle and making a lot of mistakes, we eventually cracked the code and built a really big empire, helped 500,000 customers around the world, New York Times bestselling books, all the nonsense, right? Anyways, so I share that with you because in that journey, like when you've been around for, at least in business now for close to 20 years, there's a lot of things that you do wrong, okay? And, it's the famous question, like knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? A lot of the videos on this channel are specifically for that. It's really coming from a place of perspective. That's really what I want to give you. Like, I'm not here sharing this stuff with you because I had a good month in business. I had a good year in business. Like, I've been around longer than most people have even known what health coaching is. And I don't say that to brag or be like arrogant. It's just, I truly care about you and helping your business, even though I don't know you. And I just see so many amazing health coaches and practitioners that suffer unnecessarily. And our goal with Healthpreneur is to help 1 billion people on the planet get out of suffering and live lives that are just incredible. And the way we're going to do that is by helping coaches and business owners like you build better businesses so you can reach more people. Okay. So that's a bit of context where I'm coming from, and hopefully that makes sense. Now, let's get into the 3 things no one's telling you. And no one's telling you these because maybe they don't know them. I don't know. Number 1 is free will get you nowhere, or it will get you nowhere fast. If you're starting, listen, if you're starting a health coaching business, I understand you might not be sitting on a briefcase of cash. And I think that's a blessing because you don't need to. I think the worst thing you could possibly do for your business is try to get outside investment because number 1, you don't have a sellable business really. So don't do that. But bootstrapping and not having oodles of cash is a good place to be. And here's what I mean by that. When I started my business, I think, I don't know, I put $2,000 on my credit card. Like that's kind of where it started. I don't even know what that money was spent on. And it wasn't on coaching or mentorship, which should have been my first investment. But I thought I was too cool for school. I thought I was smart enough to figure it out on my own. I didn't. So for the first 3 years in business, 2006 to 2009, I made less than poverty line income for 3 years living in Toronto. I may as well have lived in a box on the sidewalk. Like literally that's how bad it was. Until things got better once I decided not to do free anymore. Because here's the thing is over time, it took me a long time to realize that successful people understand that money is cheap and time is expensive. A lot of beginners in business think the opposite. Well, I'm not going to use money because I don't have a lot of it. Therefore, I'm going to use my time. But time is something you can never get back. And if, when I started my business, I didn't have kids. I was in my mid-20s and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just hustle my way to wherever. I've got 4 kids now. Like I don't have time for that stuff. And, I don't know what age you are, what stage of life you're in. But even if you don't have kids and even if you have no dependents, you still want to have a quality of life, right? And there's definitely a time to work hard, right? But it's about working hard on the right things. And sadly, when I think of free, here's what it looks like, is I'm going to create blog posts that no one sees because your website doesn't get any traffic. Let's just be honest, okay? And I'm sharing this again, like just to give you context. My previous company, our website, our blog, 1.4 million visitors per month, okay? So that was a big endeavor. And I know how long it took to get there. And I know what our payroll was for our editorial team, which was north of $35,000 per month. So if you're a one-man show posting once a week on your website, I don't even need to look at your stats. I know you're not getting any traffic, okay? That's just the way it is. It's not your fault. It's just the way it is. Google does not reward small sites that don't have a lot of clout, okay? So why play that game? Why create content no one's ever going to see? No one's ever going to find it. It's not, the field of dreams doesn't exist online. You're not going to build a baseball diamond in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa and like, the world's best baseball players are going to appear out of nowhere. It doesn't happen, okay? You need to be proactive. So, all right, so, okay, you're cool. I'm going to be proactive. What am I going to do? Like, go on Instagram, go on TikTok, choose some videos and like dance and point and do some stupid stuff. You could. I shouldn't say stupid. If that's your jam and you love doing that stuff, by all means, go for it. But again, there are better ways of doing things. But if that's what you want to do to start, listen, like I would say that these videos, I'm at my desk. I'm not dancing. There's no heavy production. I'm not jumping out of helicopters. You don't need to go to that extent. I think the cream rises to the top, okay? And my videos are a little bit longer. I hope they're useful and content rich. I'm not here to entertain you. I mean, maybe I am in some way, shape, or form, but not in the context of like, oh my God, we're gonna do a 24-hour challenge to see how long I can live underwater for. I'm not playing that game. You don't have to play that game, right? Because your audience is not my kids, 8-year-olds watching Mr. Beast on YouTube. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Mr. Beast is actually pretty incredible. If you don't know who he is, don't worry about it. I'm just going off on a tangent here. All right, so free is dangerous because listen, like if you take your coaching business as a business, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in your business. And I understand you may not have a ton of money to do that, but you know what? You got to find a way. And I'm not saying, all right, so okay, what should I invest my money in as a business owner in the business? The most important thing, and this is going to come to my second point. So the second thing no one's telling you is that skills pay the bills. If you're not making the money you want to make, there's simply a lack of skill that you don't have. That's all it is. So again, I'll just use my story. 2006 to 2009, I had zero skill other than my expertise in health and fitness and nutrition. That's it. That was all I had, which is an amazing starting point because you need that because that's the thing people are going to pay you for to help them. But that's not enough. Like if you want to build a business, you need to develop the skill. The most important skill you can develop is the following. It's communication. Your ability to communicate in 3 ways is going to make or break your business. Number 1 is internal communication up here. That means what are you saying to yourself? What does that belief system look like? What is the dialogue you're having on a daily basis? I can't do this or I can do this. Is this ever going to work out versus I'm going to make this work? That's very important and it's going to determine your success or not. So that's internal communication. The second type of communication is verbal communication, which is like one-to-many like this, or even more importantly, is one-to-one on the phone or in person where you can have a conversation with a potential client and from them not even knowing you, getting them to pay you money for you to help them. That's a massively important skill you have to develop. Call it sales, if you will. The third communication skill is written communication, and online, actually not even online, just written communication that moves people to action is called copywriting. I mean, it's tough to say one or the other is the most important, but one of the things that we help our clients build are these skills. And that's one of the fundamental differences that makes Healthpreneur far superior than any other option out there is that we help our clients build skills that pay the bills. These are skills of like learning how to write words on a screen that move people to action, how to have a conversation with a prospect on the phone that a day ago didn't know you existed and now is paying you $3,000 to help them. These are skills that are learnable and they're skills you must acquire because the thing is, all of the tactic nonsense, like, 25 best posts to put on Facebook, none of that stuff matters. None of it matters. And most coaches are so, like, how do I say this nicely? Most people are focused on tactics, okay? And tactical band-aids never solve strategic problems. And when I say a strategic problem, I mean, really in this context is you don't have the skill to do what you need to do. So what's the point? Who cares if you post an engagement type of post on Instagram to get people liking your stuff? None of that matters, because even if you did have a huge Instagram following or TikTok or Facebook, and you don't know how to move those followers into paying clients, it's all for naught. I mean, I can't tell you how many influencers I know who have hundreds of thousands, even millions of followers on Instagram who are not even making six figures in revenue. And you wouldn't know that by looking at their feeds, where it's like, oh my God, they have the life, right? I think, and again, I'm going off on a little tangent here. I think the whole influencer nonsense is a travesty, because these are individuals who are, again, and I'm just speaking, I don't know all of them, but essentially they have piggybacked on a hot body to simply get a following and take a picture with a product. That's not a business. That's ridiculous. Okay. I hope I can help you build skills to really build an actual business that is built on systems and good foundation and actual ways of helping people and feel good about themselves, not feel bad about themselves because they saw someone in a bikini on Instagram and now they feel shitty about themselves. Anyways, let's come back on track. So skills pay the bills. Communication is the most important skill you can build. Third thing is you have to understand the 4 C's, okay? So the 4 C's is a model or a framework I learned from my coach, Dan Sullivan, who is an example of somewhere where I've put my money. And actually, before I go into this, let me just go back to what I was talking about with, where should you invest your money? Okay. So where should you invest your money? The most important place you need to invest is to build skills. If you are lacking skills in salesmanship or copywriting, you need to invest in learning how to do that. Buy books, buy courses, buy coaching, do what you got to do. Repetition, repetition, repetition will be the most important things in those. But you have to know what to say. You have to know how to do it. And then you have to do it repeatedly. So if you don't know what to do, you need to invest in some level of coaching or program or course that's going to show you how to do that. And then you got to put in the reps, because I promise you, it's the single best investment you will ever make. You spend 4, 6, 10 years in school getting degrees like that thing over wherever that thing is right there. That is a waste of time if you don't learn how to get that message in front of more people. And the only way to do that is to develop the skills I'm sharing with you here. So the best investment I ever made was hiring my first coach. So I went from knowing nothing about business and marketing to hiring my first coach, paying him more money than I had made in my previous year in business. But it was the single best decision I ever made in my life, because from that point, it was the inflection point, and I started to learn things I had no idea about. I started learning about marketing and funnels and all this stuff that's important to understand. So you have to make those investments. If you're trying to do things for free, you will never get where you want to go. Or if you get there, it's going to take a very, very long time. It's like taking a horse and buggy from New York to Los Angeles instead of investing in yourself and your business, which is the same as taking an airplane from New York to Los Angeles. Which one do you want? Okay, so let's go to the third thing no one's telling you about, which is the 4 C's. So let me just share my screen here, if I can. Just give me a moment. So as this is loading, there we go. All right. So a lot of people are looking for the end results, right? We all want the end result. But here's the thing so this is called the 4 C's. And I give credit to Dan Sullivan again for this, where I learned it from. This actually became the foundation of a really popular talk I've given called the Courage Code. So here's the thing is when you want to do something, the first thing you need to do is you need to commit. Okay, so there's, I can't even write here. Let's just scribble. The first C is commitment. Commitment. You need to commit first, and then figure out the rest later. You don't like get your ducks in a row and then like, okay, I'm ready to go. That doesn't happen. Entrepreneurs understand that. You have to be willing to step into uncertainty. If you're not willing to step into uncertainty, please just go work for someone else, because there's going to be a lot of uncertainty in your business, and you just have to deal with that. Okay. So that's the first C. The second C, I'm going to come back to. The third C is capability. And this is I've acquired the skill. I know how to sell. I know how to copywrite. I know how to move people to action, as an example. I know how to, do what I need to do to get results in my business. Okay. And that's where we all want to go. So that's kind of the outcome, if you will, of the stuff we want. It's the ability to produce results. And then the fourth C is where ultimately we all want to be, which is confidence. The ability to continually produce results over and over and over again, even if you lost everything, because you've got the confidence to know how to do that. I have a tremendous amount of confidence. I don't know if you can tell that. Confidence you don't start with confidence. You're not born confident. Confidence comes from experience. And the reason I have a tremendous amount of confidence is because I have a tremendous amount of experience. And that confidence I can then lend to my clients. And I'm like, listen, I understand if you're not confident yet, or if you don't have faith that this thing's going to work, borrow mine, because I've seen this thousands of times. And I promise you, if you follow our system, you'll get the results. I can't make that promise if I'm not confident what I'm doing. Okay. Now here's the missing piece. So this is the most important thing I can share with you here. This is what separates the boys from the men, the women from the girls. This piece right here is the one thing everyone forgets. And this is called courage. Because what happens is between commitment and capability, so here is fear. So just let that sink in for a second. You want an outcome, but you've never achieved it before. You've never created it before. And all of a sudden you're like, well, I want to be sure I can get this outcome. And that's not how the world works. That's not how life works. The only way you're going to get what you want is by having the courage to step into the unknown. Courage is a muscle that you have to flex every single day, which basically means getting uncomfortable. If you want growth, you have to get out of your comfort zone. And we know that if you get out of your comfort zone, it's what? Uncomfortable. So the difference between courage and confidence is that confidence feels good. Courage doesn't feel good. Courage feels very uncomfortable. And every single day you need to find a way to get uncomfortable, because when you do that, it means you're exercising that courage muscle, and it's transferable, right? If you have courage to jump out of an airplane, like to go parachuting, for instance, or skydiving, you can use that courage, that reference point to be like, man, I can do that. I can do this. If you've given birth to kids, like, holy shit, building a business you can do. If you went through 10 years of medical school, like seriously, you can build a business. It's the same thing. Success is transferable. And you have to lean on previous courage if you need to move forward. Because the only way to get to it is to go through it. There's no way around this. You can't go from commitment to unconfidence. It never happens, and it never will. Please accept that. If you're about to invest in a coach or in anything and it's like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work out, that's okay. It's supposed to feel that way because you've never done it before. And how are you supposed to know if it's going to work out? Because there's nothing that's certain in life. If you get on an airplane, do you know it's going to stay in the sky? Odds are 1 in 16 million. It's probably not. It's pretty good odds though, right? If you walk across the street at a stop sign, do you know for sure that the car is going to stop? That's called faith, right? If you gave birth to a child, did you know everything was going to be fine when the child came out? No, right? We do all these tests and stuff ahead of time to ensure, but we don't know. And this is why, like, I'm telling you, the ability to embrace uncertainty is really critical to your success. And that requires courage, okay? Because courage is the bridge. Let me draw this a different way. This is actually something I share with my clients a lot with respect to their conversations with potential clients. So you are here, okay? And right now, let's just call this, I don't have the results that I want. So this is a canyon, okay? And let's just say down here we have a river, and this is like whatever, 1,000 feet. And everything you want is over here. So your desires, the money, the freedom, the life, the business, the accolades, the recognition, the body, the health, all that stuff. Okay. So here's the thing is on the left here, right here, you're standing on the edge of this cliff. You need to start by making a commitment to say, I'm going to go over here. Because until you do that, you will stand on the edge of that cliff forever and continue saying, oh yeah, like this is really important to me. I really want to do it. No, it's not. Until you commit, nothing happens. Commitment, or to make a decision comes from the Latin word decidere, which means to cut off all other options, to literally cut. Okay? So that's the first step, is commitment. And then on the other side of this, going back to the 4 C's, is capability and confidence, right? You've done it. You've made it. All right. Now there's obviously something missing here. What is it? Well, it's a bridge. And this bridge is courage. Here's the problem though. Is all of this down here, this is a huge, huge gap called fear. So the higher the bridge, the more fear there's going to be, right? Why are we more afraid to go on an airplane than drive a car? Because if the plane crashes, that's coming down from 35,000 feet. If a car crashes, in our heads, it's not that bad, but we know that far more people die in car crashes. So again, this is all perception. We walk across a bridge, across a canyon. We're looking 1,000 feet down. We're sick to our stomach in fear. But everything you want is on the other side of that bridge. And the only way to get there is by crossing the bridge. There's no shortcuts. There's no helicopter coming to pick you up. None of that stuff. This is life, guys. This is life. This is what no one's telling you. This is the thing that, like, yeah, life is going to be easy. Business is going to be great. Just press this button to make $1 million. It's all bullshit, okay? Anything great is hard. And anyone who tells you it's easy hasn't achieved it, or they're trying to sell you a pipe dream. Having kids is hard. Going through school is hard. Playing professional sports is hard. Anything meaningful is challenging. You can set the intention for things to be easy and flowing, awesome, for sure. But don't expect it to be easy, okay? Because when it's not easy, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Oh, my muscles are sore after a workout. I've never worked out before. I thought this would be great. Welcome to the world of delayed onset muscle soreness, right? So courage is the ability to walk the bridge, to go through fear. Because the only way to get to it is to go through it. I want you to write that down. Like, the only way to get to it is to go through it. So I hope that makes sense. So again, I'll just give you this visual one more time. So this is the bridge. Is the bridge going to hold? What if you fall? What if things don't work out? Hey, so here's the question I want you to ask instead. Instead of saying, what if this doesn't work out? What is the cost of failure, for instance? Here's the better question to ask. And here's what successful people ask themselves is, what is the cost of me staying on this side of the cliff? What is the cost of me continuing to stay in my current situation? What is the cost of me staying right here? And until that is painful, you will not move. And so as we bring this back into the context of your business, your health coaching business, you need to understand that if you have a desire for a bigger future, you have to be very unsatisfied with your current reality. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be grateful for what you have and who you are and all that stuff. You should absolutely practice appreciation and gratitude every single moment of the day, but never be satisfied. Because if you think making a few $1,000s a month is awesome, it's not awesome, okay? It's selfish because you're not helping enough people. And number two, you can't live on a few $1,000s a month. And if you tell me otherwise, you're delusional and living on a different planet. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true, okay? Unless you live in a tent in the middle of the Sahara Desert, it's not going to happen. Don't think small, think big. And if you think things are okay right now, you have to be honest with yourself, because you will never get the courage to move across the bridge until you are absolutely convicted that right now has to change, and that what's on the other side of the bridge is massively more important, that you will do whatever you can to get there. And this, my friend, is why most people in business do not succeed. This is what people aren't telling you. They're not telling you that it's going to be challenging. They're not telling you you have to use courage. They're not telling you that you have to get uncomfortable now to make the change, right? These are things that we all have to go through. So as we kind of come to a close here, and this is a longer video than I wanted, but hopefully it's been useful for you, is the three things that no one's telling you is free will get you nowhere, or it will get you nowhere fast. 2 is that skills pay the bills, and you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in your business to develop the number 1 skill, which is communication, mental, verbal, and written. And 3rd is understanding the 4 C's, and specifically, nothing happens until a commitment is made. You don't develop capabilities and confidence without courage. Okay? Never, ever, ever forget that. So if you found this useful, here's what I'd like you to do. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, that's step 1. There should be a button, click it. I've got tons of other videos to help you with your health coaching business. Second is watch the next video, which is starting an online health business, 3 truths you need to know. So I talk about 3 other things separate from what we've discussed here that I think will really help you out. So watch that next. We'll include the link below this video as well as in the next videos at the end of the screen. And there we go. So if you found that useful, awesome, subscribe, watch the next video, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much for your time. Bye.